All right. Good
Ah,
morning, everybody. It's going to be Wednesday morning when you see this. And as you know, I only do this when I have an interesting person. And last week at dinner, I met Ted. See, I remembered this time.
that's good.
I called him Tom by mistake. And Tom had an interesting story. And so I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if you would answer them, I'd love it. Okay, how long have you been whole food plant-based?
Well, whole food plant-based, I started, uh, I went to Vietnam and I got lymphoma cancer, Agent Orange. All of my friends that came back from Vietnam have died from it. And I came down with stage 3 advanced lymphoma. My wife, approximately 13 years ago, started doing research. And she went to all the universities looking at research that hadn't come out, basically. And she said, honey, let's try this. We're going to try whole food plant-based. And uh, I wasn't sure. I says, well, we're going to try something. She says, honey, he says, we can either try that or you're going to go to chemo. Which one do you want to try? So I
Yeah.
said, well, honey, we'll try chemo. I kind of trusted her because a number of years before I changed my lifestyle. I had high blood pressure. She changed our lifestyle, no salt, and it fixed it. So this one I was more apt to, yeah, okay, honey, let's try it. And believe it or not, in about 3 months, I went into remission. None of the 15 other people that I came back from Vietnam went into remission. They kept on eating what they did. I told them about it, but they kept on and they all passed away, basically. So I'm the last one. So we started to answer your question, I would say about 13 years ago.
No, you answered. That's good.
It's that, but we kind of, once the cancer went, like when I go in to see my oncologist, he says, Ted, it's nice meeting you. When it comes to cancer, you're boring, but we're gonna
You're not.
we'll
He's
keep
not
monitoring.
boring. Trust me.
We'll keep monitoring you just to make sure it doesn't come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
So it was placed, but then we kind of backslid a bit. Then
Now, why did you backslide? That's an interesting thing.
well, when I kept on going to the doctor, normally when you go into remission, it stays there, it doesn't grow. But mine, actually, my body learned to attack it.
Yeah. Oh no, your body does attack it.
And
Yes.
I went there about 2 years ago. Says Ted, we did a PET scan. He says, Ted, if I showed this to a radiologist, he would never know you had
Cancer.
stage 3 cancer.
Right.
So I says, well, will I get it again? Possibly no, because your body has found it and it attacks it. So, when it came out, once a month, maybe I'd have a hamburger. My wife would look
Okay.
at me and say, well, hon, well, honey, some things are worth dying for. Tell her,
No, they're not. Don't
I know
listen
that.
to 'em.
I know that. But so basically, we still stayed at home specifically, but when we traveled, it was kind of hard to stay on it, but we did it the best we could,
Yeah.
making good choices. Then in Vietnam, I was in 3 helicopter crashes, and I've had 5 spinal operations because of it, a lot of head injuries. So I found approximately 4 years ago, I started going into dementia. My memory went down. I went in, they tested me. He says, yes, you're well below where you should be for your age.
How do they test you?
It was a 3-hour exam, asking tons of questions. And it seems like they were asking the same questions over in a different way.
Yeah.
I had to do visual memory exercise. I had to do verbal memory exercises. They asked me the meaning of words. It says, they'd show me pictures. What was the name of this? What was the name of that? So a lot of
3 hours. That is comprehensive.
Well, it got to the point where I felt so isolated, because if I sat with a bunch of people and let's say there's a conversation going, and to be polite, I'd try to wait for a break.
Yeah.
And if I had a question, by the time I waited for the break, it was gone.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Well, you were at least aware of it.
I was aware that it was there, but I couldn't pull the information
No.
back.
What I mean, you were aware you had a cognitive problem.
Yes, when I didn't show up for appointments, I forgot to take my pills, or I was taking certain pills and I was taking them twice a day. Because I
Yeah.
couldn't remember I had taken them.
Yeah.
I was forgetting names. I was forgetting events.
Yeah. No.
And it felt like I was being put into a cocoon
Yes.
psychologically, because I couldn't, I was afraid to converse. So then my my allergist, believe it or not, at the VA said, put me in contact with Ruben.
Oh, okay.
And Ruben
Guzman.
Yes. And he took us on, and we went back strict. It was, whole food, plant-based, no oil.
Right.
And he showed me the science that was behind it, which made it a lot easier to follow, where it says somebody telling you to do it.
It's not opinion.
Right.
It's science. Yes. Good point.
And so we started doing it, and lo and behold, after 4 months, I felt like I was going down my memory, but then I plateaued. I really could feel I plateaued, and now I can make appointments. I can remember my wife, because really my opinion doesn't count. It's my wife's opinion that counts.
Yes, I know. I understand.
And she says, honey, you have significantly improved. And so I feel like a whole person now. I mean, I feel like I can come back into life. I think I went to a men's group, and there was 30 people, and everyone is talking. And 10 times I thought of the question, and I was able to listen to everything they said, then present my question. So I knew there was an improvement. Out of the 10, I forgot one, but after about 20 minutes, it came back. But there was a major improvement.
Great.
So that was really good. They worry at times because I have PTSD.
Yeah.
Really bad. And so when I do the cognitive test, they don't know how much the PTSD affects the cognitive part. But they did get one test in to show, like, I was in the Marine Corps for 28 years, and I go to the VA, and they're trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. I think the only doctor I haven't seen at the VA in my military career was the OBGYN.
Well,
but
we hope not.
But even through all of the medical problems and stuff, I'm feeling great. I've lost close to 60 pounds.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, and you attribute that to the lifestyle.
Totally. And this is 55, 60 pounds without exercising.
Yeah.
Because of my spine. I just finished my 5th spinal operation a year ago. And I wasn't walking. I wasn't doing anything. I was just putting on weight. And then doing this, it just started pound by pound, 10% here, 10% there.
If I may, how old are you?
I am 78. The
78.
VA doctor said I should be 90 with all of the stuff I've been through.
Yeah, I get that a lot too. But I am 90,
yes.
So
you look very good for 90, I might add.
Now, do you have any other benefits that you can think of? If I may prompt you a bit, what about your energy level?
Well, with PTSD and with the other things, that it has its own problems. But overall, if I were to go back, let's say a year from now, my energy level, I would say, is easily 20% more than it was then. But mindfully, I just finished an operation. I couldn't walk. I was in a lot of pain. But I think that is my alertness. Yeah, when people say things, I can come back like that.
There you go. Yes, that's fun. I know. Yes, I haven't lost that, thank God. Is there anything I forgot to ask you?
Well, I think that
anything you'd like to say?
I'd like to say that it's not just a matter of eating. There's a whole life thing that we're learning, and it covers sleep. My sleep has improved by, from close to 4, maybe 5 to close to 7 hours. I feel more alert. my stress has gone down immensely, even with my PTSD. Uh, PTSD has its own issues, but when you start adding it,
Yeah.
it compounds it.
Yeah.
And now that I don't have the compound effect happening,
Yeah.
I'm actually being able to handle it way better. Uh, it's nice to, I'm, besides eating, we're sleeping. We do a happiness quotient. We learn about happiness, what makes people happy. The whole program is based on also on how people live in the blue zones.
Yes.
These are the people that make 100 and live there and look like you when they're 100. And so it's not just what they do, it's setting community. We come here, this is part of our treatment in a sense, is being with community.
We're so fresh, by the way.
Yes. And there's
on a Wednesday, a Sunday night. And if you live in Sacramento, you should join. And if you live in Sacramento and you're Whole Food, you probably already belong to Meetup. But that's all right. I'm going to tell you about it anyway.
And we do it at 5 o'clock. See, my memory's coming back.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
But I have to say that it is improving. But, you know, when it comes down to it, I still don't understand women.
Yes, well, good luck.
That's improving.
Good luck, yes. I'm not going to even go there.
No.
Now, the last question is if there are people that are on the fence, there are people, we had dinner with them tonight, that they're thinking about it, but they haven't made the commitment. What would you say to them to help them along when they're in their journey?
That's hard because,
of course, I don't ask easy questions.
When you make the decision to go, first of all, your partner basically has to come with you, and you have to be on board with doing this, because the cooking, the going out, we work on a relationship. For example, one of the things I learned is that Reuben taught us, row your boat gently down the stream, and make sure you're rowing your own boat, not your husband's boat. And your husband is not rowing your boat, and you don't go there, and you row gently down the stream. So even that, learning the relationship with others and with the spouse, you tend to, things start running smoother. You know, there seems to be more understanding.
Yes.
So which really is big as far as a relationship, you know, when we spent 45 years together. But, you know, I always tell people, it says I still call her honey and sweetie, basically because I forgot her name a year ago and I'm afraid to ask her. But
that's bad, but good.
Yeah, but we use humor, and it's just, we drink water. But now we had to give up alcohol. The hardest part, we gave up like things like cheese and stuff like that. And when we go out,
yeah, I heard your wife at dinner say the hardest thing to give up cheese. Yeah.
Your friends, if they are your friends, will understand and support you.
Good one. If they are your friends.
If they are your friends, they will support you. And you know, they may not change, and they may want to change. And believe me, people do change. I go to a men's group in Elk Grove, and they saw the changes in my face. My face was like this, large, and my weight was large. I was slow. I was always in pain. I was angry. And they look at me and says, I'm a completely different person. But it took all of it. And it's nice that I had somebody that meets with us, holds us accountable. And I ask questions like, I had a fall and I cracked my head open and all that. And I have someone to go to.
Tell us about that.
In the Marine Corps, they never gave us sunblock. And therefore, the area of this white looks like I've been scalped. They had to cut the cancer out, but luckily there is no cancer. And the nice part about it is that we attack problems together even better than we did before. Our communications is better. We support, like my wife will say, oh, I did this good. And I says, yes, you do. And we give one another a high five. You know, going over and above what you normally do, it kind of exaggerates it a bit, but it's a good feeling. She tells me, you know, I tell her, says, hon, I'm a touchy-feely. If you touch me, You could tell me you love me 100 times, but it won't mean as much as you come up and giving me a hug on that time. Well, she has more of the opposite. So within this communications getting together, we learn, we're learning more about one another, and we're responding because we love one another. We're still the best friends. And so, you know, it's just, I figure I've studied most of the religions of the world, and I've come to the conclusion that they all say, I looked into most of the things, it says, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and be kind to the world.
There you go.
And
That's a good one.
and
I like that.
I can make my decisions, not that I'm perfect, but that's my focus. And I find it, you know, I find it rewarding.
Well, Ted, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
And good luck.
And good luck.